stocks that will be on the editor's radar in today's trading session. We're starting off with the entire metals basket, and then we'll talk about Interglobe Aviation. Now, metals, yes, off late, maybe they've been soft, but there have been a lot of triggers as well, Nikunj, that have led to this.
Look, metal is interestingly positioned. The positioning of metal is not that bullish. It's pretty much neutral. Typically, what I've seen that when energy as a complex, they make a comeback. And, we may not like it. I'm surprised markets are ignoring it. Crude prices almost at a 3-month high. Rice prices at a record high. Energy prices have started going higher, whether it is natural gas or heating oil. It's happening at a time when demand concerns, I guess, are really very evident. But given that China, you're getting the right signal, just the right noise has started again from China that for the first time, the Chinese government now is very worried about what is going to happen to the Chinese economy. There could be a trade in metals. See, you always rent metal stocks, you never marry metal stocks. I always say that. So I think a trade in some of the metal stocks really could be coming, largely because of the interplay between the dollar index and the fact that commodity as a basket, one always does well. Very rare you've seen that one commodity is going up and other commodity is going, lower. And I think commodity as a basket, I think is really looking a comeback, because once you get a signal from Fed that the interest rate hike is pausing, which is what everybody is expecting, there could be a 5-10% trade in some of the commodity stocks, because the trade in commodities has already started. Look at crude, like I said, look at energy prices. And just not crude. I mean, across the board. Across the board, if you really think about it, from the fall now in the last couple of days, the gains have come in.
An uptick. And yesterday we were talking with Peter Maguire as well, who was alluding to exactly the same thing. So that's the outlook when it comes to the entire metals basket and all of the triggers within this space as a whole. But let's move on then to the next stock that we're discussing, Interglobe Aviation, or Indigo, just flagged out there. The stock as well has been on a strong bull run. Yesterday, of course, was a different case in point. But what's the outlook given the dynamics and how things are shaping up within the aviation space? With listed players, it's pretty much this one.
So, you normally look at crude, you normally look at market share, but you never can imagine that Pratt & Whitney, one of the main engine suppliers, is going to be calling back and say, oh, we got to check some of the engines we've given to you and we need to relook at it. What is the connection of Pratt & Whitney and Indigo? Well, large part of the fleet actually has used Pratt & Whitney engines. Now, what does that mean? That essentially means that there would be less, the DGCA norms in India are very strict, and thank God for that. But if there is an audit which Pratt & Whitney wants for all the fleet, which all the engines, that automatically will have an impact on the Indigo's fleet availability, and it will really have an impact on the future orders and future capex and expansion. Indigo is on the cusp of expanding right now. The aviation sector is somewhere they've ruled the market share. But if some of their if some of the aeroplanes or some of their, if the fleet really gets into that entire, remonitoring cycle per se, it will have impact on capacity, it will have impact on pricing, and it will have impact on future expansion. We don't know the numbers yet, haven't heard from the management. But for a stock which has been in a bull run, there could be a double whammy suddenly, largely because of crude spike, and largely because of this news from Pratt & Whitney.
Okay, there you have it. Those are the important triggers to track stocks on the editor's radar, Aisha.